If you're a student struggling with loans, you need to hear this. The burden of student loans is a reality for millions of students across the country. It's a weight that can feel insurmountable, affecting not just your finances, but your mental health and future opportunities. How lobbying shapes your financial future. You might think that your student loan terms are set in stone, but in reality they are heavily influenced by lobbying efforts that often prioritize profits over students' well-being. Let's dive into the world of lobbying and its impact on student loans. Understanding this can empower you to advocate for change and make more informed decisions about your education and finances. Lobbying is when organizations influence lawmakers to pass or block legislation. Sounds harmless, right? But the reality is far more complex and often detrimental to students. But when it comes to student loans, it's a different story. The stakes are high and the consequences of lobbying can be severe, affecting your ability to repay loans and achieve financial stability. Take the Higher Education Act of 1965. This landmark legislation was designed to make higher education more accessible to all Americans, regardless of their financial background. Initially, it aimed to make college more accessible. It provided federal funding for student loans, grants, and work-study programs, opening doors for countless students. Fast forward to 1992 and you'll see lobbying at full throttle. The landscape of student loans began to change dramatically as private lenders entered the scene, driven by profit motives. Private lenders pushed for changes, making it easier for them to lend money but harder for students to repay. These changes included higher interest rates and fewer protections for borrowers. In 2005, the Bankruptcy Abuse Prevention and Consumer Protection Act was passed. Sounds protective, right? Wrong. This act made it nearly impossible for students to discharge their loans through bankruptcy, trapping them in a cycle of debt. It made it nearly impossible to discharge student loans through bankruptcy. This means that even if you face severe financial hardship, your student loans will continue to haunt you. Guess who lobbied for that? Big banks and private lenders who stood to gain from keeping students in debt. Big banks and private lenders, let's talk numbers. The education sector has spent millions on lobbying efforts to shape policies in their favor. Between 1998 and 2014, over $68 million was spent on lobbying by the education sector. And who benefits? Lenders, not students. This money is used to influence legislation that keeps interest rates high and repayment options limited. Interest rates stay high, repayment options remain limited, and the debt keeps piling up. This creates a financial burden that can take decades to overcome. One notable example is Sallie Mae, a major student loan lender. They have been at the forefront of lobbying efforts to shape policies that benefit their bottom line. They spent millions lobbying for policies that favored their profits over your financial health. This includes pushing for higher interest rates and stricter repayment terms. Even their board members had ties to lawmakers. These connections allowed them to exert significant influence over policy decisions. So next time you're buried in loan statements, remember, it's not just bad luck. The policies that govern your loans have been shaped by powerful lobbying efforts. It's the power of lobbying at work. Understanding this can help you navigate the system and advocate for change. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's push for policies that put students first. By raising our voices and demanding change, we can work towards a more equitable system. Hit like and subscribe for more eye-opening insights. Together, we can make a difference and ensure that education remains a pathway to opportunity, not a road to financial ruin.